Welcome back to our long form explanation here, the Six of Hearts. The Six of Hearts is the Peacemaker card, and why becomes obvious when we look at the planetary sequence of this card. The Six of Hearts is placed on the Mars line in the Mars column. So it's a double Mars conjunction. Actually, not a double Mars conjunction, but just a Mars conjunction, Mars-Mars conjunction. So there's a lot of dynamism, dynamic, aggressive energy in that conjunction. However, the Six of Hearts is the exact opposite of that. It seeks peace because six is about compromise, about responsibility, about others, and the heart suit obviously is about the emotional side, the relationship side. The Six of Hearts has a Four of Clubs in Mercury, and the Four of Clubs is the card of mental stability, order, structure, and satisfaction. That can be a tremendous tool and of tremendous benefit for the Six of Hearts because all thoughts are ordered around logic and structure and building foundations. However, as Mercury is also about communication, about change, about mental constructs, it likes to change things, it likes to explore things. And that's where the Four of Clubs can become too rigid. So it needs to allow others to be messy, where its own thinking is more ordered and more structured and more conservative. That's a very important lesson for the Six of Hearts. So let others be messy, let them play around while you focus on what you do best, and that is creating order, structure, building foundations in your mind. The Two of Diamonds in Venus tells us about shared resources, shared values, because the two is about union and the diamonds is about values and worth. On its own, the Two of Diamonds is the wheeler dealer card, the card that loves to do business deals with someone. Here it is part of the relationship. So that card is quite useful because Venus also stands for money, for work, and the Two of Diamonds here aids that Six of Hearts in forging value relationships, relationships that are built on and with purpose. The problem here is that love and value do not always blend and balance well together. So you may have to ask yourself, as a Six of Hearts, do I love this person or do I value what we can build together? Which is the Two of Diamonds, building together. But in Venus, it's also about love and relationships. And there could be a bit of a conflict for the Six of Hearts. In Mars, we'll find the Jack of Spades. That's the trickster card and the card of the spiritual initiate. So here is a card that doesn't mind getting its hand dirty when it comes to curiosity. And under Mars, this curiosity, this spiritual curiosity, is pursued quite aggressively. That leads to tremendous spiritual insights because, after all, the Jack is a court card. But under Mars, it can also lead to isolation. So the Six of Hearts is reminded not to push its curiosity, its spiritual curiosity, too hard, because that might alienate people and isolate them from others. So once again, remembering the Two of Diamonds in Venus, it's a question of here, do I act alone? Do I really go as far as I can because I can? Or do I act in unison to create shared values, which then again is contributing to the peace that I'm actually seeking as a Six of Hearts or with my Six of Hearts birth card. Jupiter expands what it touches, and here we find the Eight of Clubs. The Eight of Clubs is a fixed card. We are on the Mars line in the Neptune column. And the Eight of Clubs is the card of mental power, but also fixed mental ideas. So here, the Six of Heart actually benefits from creating a fixed mindset, because it's Jupiter and it's about expansion and it's about growth. So the mind of the Six of Hearts should not be fickle. Once again, Four of Clubs in Mercury, and here Eight of Clubs in Jupiter. So there's a strong mental connection for the card that is actually aiming at creating peace, at creating stability, shared values with the Two of Diamonds in Venus, and with that Jack of Spades in Mars. Jack of Spades is not exactly a team player card, but the signal here, or the advice for the Six of Hearts with a Jack of Spades in Mars, is don't go alone, don't isolate yourself. Yes, use your curiosity, use your creativity, dive deep into the spiritual realm, but do not do this at the expense of others, because that only isolates yourself. So here, with that Eight of Clubs in Jupiter, the expansion and the growth comes through a very steady mind, a mind that is very powerful and that is helping others find their way. Because the minds of most people is not really stable. They're very fickle because they've never trained themselves in the mental realm. So they are basically just acting out fancies, ideas, but there is no order and structure in their mind. And because they don't know themselves, they find it difficult to really bring balance, especially mental balance, into their life. And through the mental balance, we also find emotional balance. And then we have balance here and balance there, and that leads to a balanced life in general. Finally, a reminder for that Eight of Clubs: use your words wisely. People trust them, maybe more than they should, and you will find the prosperity that really matters. Eight of Clubs in Jupiter, very strong card, and a reminder for the Six of Hearts to be steady in one's convictions, steady in one's communications, and absolutely reliable. And that is juxtaposed to the Mars with the Jack of Spades, which is anything but steady and reliable. So here we have a very interesting combination of cards. And as the Jupiter period follows the Mars period in the life of the Six of Hearts, the Six of Hearts can play and act itself out rather wildly in its Mars period until the age of 39. But as soon as it hits the Jupiter period, then it is no longer appropriate to act like a trickster, to be irresponsible, but then it's all about mental steadfastness, reliability, dependability, order, and structure on a higher level. Once again, we have a Diamonds card in Saturn, and remember, we had this with the Three of Hearts, we had this with the Two of Hearts, we had this with the Five of Hearts. Diamonds cards in Saturn, and Saturn is the teacher. And if we find a Diamonds cards in Saturn, it's all about values, about finances. And here we find a Six of Diamonds in Saturn. That means that it's all about financial responsibility and compromise. So here the Six of Hearts has to ask itself, am I giving fairly? Am I receiving fairly? Are my business dealings fair? Do I have a balanced set of values, or do I still have to learn something in that department? You're here to learn how fairness in the material world reflects your inner values. And yes, you can say no, because you don't have to consent or agree to everything. Draw clear boundaries. That's also part of that six energy. Say no. Sixes are very social. There's a six birth card, there's a six in Saturn. So there's a very strong energy revolving around other people, social energy, pleasing people. And you can go overboard with that. So learn to draw clear boundaries. Separate, say no, have a clear set of values. And then you'll also find that in terms of finances, which are also part of the diamond suit, you'll find yourself lacking absolutely nothing. In Uranus, we'll find the Four of Spades, and the Four of Spades is a very stable card. Four is about working, Spade suit is about work, lifestyle, health, spirituality. So it's a very stable card in a very stable suit. But in Uranus, it comes under a little bit of pressure because Uranus likes to break things up. Uranus likes to create chaos. Uranus likes to renew. And that's something that the Four of Spades is not exactly fond of because energetically it's on the exact opposite side. So it's a fascinating tension here because for the Four of Spades, everything needs to be on its own terms. But under Uranus, that is being challenged. So everything related to the spade suit, work, health, lifestyle, needs to be on your own terms and needs to be your own creation. So when someone tries to impose their values, their opinions on you, that's when you rebel. That's when the piece of the peacemaker goes out of the window. Because you would like to have things your way, but Uranus doesn't allow you to do that. And that's also a beautiful energy because it reminds the Six of Hearts not to be too strict, not to be too rigid. And remember, Eight of Clubs in Jupiter, Two of Diamonds in Venus, Jack of Spades in Mars, Four of Clubs in Mercury, all cards and energies that remind the Six of Hearts not to be too fixed. And once again, sixes can get into a rut. They can become too strict, too stable. So that's where the responsibility and the compromise kicks in, because compromise always means two. Sort of you have to consider the values and the standpoints and the actions of other people too. And if you do this, then you create the balance and the order and the structure and the harmony that you so desire and that is so necessary to keep your peace. And to finish off the good old Uranus, innovation for you with this Four of Spades comes through building order and structure. But that means work. That's something that you have to put in. You can't rest on your laurels. You actually have to do work. That's what the Four is about. And with the Four of Clubs in Mercury, that means work also on the mental side, mainly on the mental side, mental order and structure, but through flexibility. Those two are not mutually exclusive, quite the opposite, because they really shine when they are used together. And here with the Four of Clubs in Mars and that Four of Spades in Uranus, we find the expansion and the renewal and the innovation to come through mental work, through physical work, but through change. And that change, once again, builds new orders and new structures that we can then rely on for any given period of time. Then we come to Neptune, and here we find the Ten of Hearts. And the Ten of Hearts is the card of popularity with other people. It's a little bit about being a stage personality. You shine on stage, but with the Ten of Hearts, it's not so much about you yourself, but about others. Don't put yourself in the limelight too much. Yes, it's good. Yes, it serves and feeds and fuels the ego, but it also has to be done in moderation. Let others shine, let others come into their power. So here we can read that you dream of love that includes everyone, a big family, a warm community, a stage where everyone is welcome. But this can also, under Neptune, bring illusions, wanting to be liked more than wanting to be real. The growth here is in recognizing that not everyone needs to adore you. There's your stage personality again. But the right people will stay when you're honest. And in that, you find your real joy. So you see how even here with a very strong card, because the 10 is a manifestor's card, and the heart suit is a manifesting, is being popular with other people. But you need to keep it real. Don't become illusionary, because that's the risk under Neptune, because Neptune is trying to deceive you. So keep it real, keep it balanced. Once again, despite the power and the conviction that stands behind that 10 of hearts. You are popular, and you're also popular in the spiritual realm. So you have that power, that emotional power, that inclusive power that the 10 of hearts brings with under Neptune. But once again, you're also reminded to keep it real, not to overinflate your ego, because you are on the level of the manifestor. Finally, under Pluto, we find another 10, and here it's a 10 of diamonds. And if I'm not mistaken, we have another diamonds card as the Pluto card for a hearts card. So there seems to be a recurring theme for the hearts cards to have a deep transformation in the suit of values and material things. The 10 of diamonds is the manifestation. The 10 of diamonds is the Jupiter card on the Jupiter line. So it's a Jupiter conjunction. And that's where it manifests. That's what we as human beings, remember, mundane spread, have put into the center of our existence, the manifestation of values. When in the spiritual spread, we'll find the Queen of Clubs, which is about service and knowledge. So to be in service with knowledge, with advice, with intuition. That's Queen of Clubs energy. That's the first karma card, by the way, for the 10 of diamonds. But here it's a Pluto card for the 6 of hearts, and it's about manifesting, transforming, letting go of the ego, death, deep transformation in this suit of values of material manifestation. So the 6 of hearts can manifest tremendous values with its rather even sequence of life cards. But once again, the subject here is, it's a challenge, it's a transformation, and it doesn't come easy for the 6 of hearts. But when it does, then it can be financially very well off, because Pluto rewards us for being flexible, for letting go of the old, for introducing the new. So once again, transformation comes through prosperity, not just money, but values in the truest sense. You're here to let go of fears around worth. Trust that what you bring to the table has weight, carries weight, and is truly valuable. It doesn't come without a price or at no cost. Yes, you have to sacrifice something. You have to let go of the ego. You have to become aware of the shortcomings of your life path. But when you do, you'll get richly rewarded. And that's the promise of the 10 of diamonds. So that describes the life path for the 6 of hearts. Even cards mainly on the Mars line before we then enter the realm of the Jupiter line with very strong and again even cards, 6 of diamonds, 4 of spades, 10 of hearts, and the Pluto card, 10 of diamonds. Quite fortunate actually, but once again, this is just potential. This is something that the 6 of hearts, or a person with a 6 of hearts birth card, has to become conscious of in order to activate those beneficial energies that the cards in the 6 of hearts life path promise. Thank you very much for paying attention, and I'll see you once again with the 7 of hearts.